Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and I bring content on clean beauty and skincare. If you're not yet subscribed, I would love to have you. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it at any point. Today's video is so fun. It's always a good day when there's a new foundation release. Today we're going to be testing out the new Clove and Hallow Liquid Skin Tint. I'm so excited that I get to share this with you guys. So if you want to see how I ended up liking the foundation, then go ahead and keep watching. Let's get right into it, guys. I'm super excited. Now, I did wear this foundation once before, but I didn't really pay much attention to how it lasted or how it applied. I kind of just put it on and went on with it. So this is sort of a first impressions. I'm gonna go super in depth about how it looks on my skin. I'm gonna do a wear test. We're gonna talk everything about this foundation. So let's go ahead and just get started. They did send me 3 shades here in this cute little PR box to try out. So I will swatch all 3 shades for you guys on my arm along with some other foundations I have so you can compare these shades. I have the shade 3, the shade 4, and then also the shade 5. This is what the packaging looks like. They come in these little white tubes, which I do enjoy because you can get the desired amount of product out. I would always prefer that they're glass, but this isn't bad. So let me just go ahead and read you the description before we apply this. It says, meet liquid skin tint, aka a flawless complexion, bottled. The perfect base for any clean makeup routine. This buildable demi-matte formula comes in 12 rich real-life shades. Cakey and creasing, you ask? It's a thing of the past. To use, just blend in with your fingers, brush your sponge, layer until you've reached your ideal coverage. So this is launching on June 18th, which is when this video will be out. I am pre-filming this. So I actually am not entirely sure what the whole shade range looks like. I did get an email from them and saw some of it, and it looked like they did a good job. There are 13 shades, but it looks like they did a good job at sort of making a good array of shades and not just all light to medium tones. It looks like it's well diversified is what I'm trying to say for only having the 12 shades, but I think 12 shades is good to start. A lot of clean brands don't even have 12 shades. So for a newly launched foundation, I think they're on the right track there. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert a clip now of me swatching the foundation shades and how they compare to some other foundations that I own. Okay guys, here are the swatches for you. These are the Clove and Hallow foundations in the shade 3. This is 4, which is the one that I used, and then this one is 5. Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation in SF2. This is the Pacifica Light Foundation in 34 NL. And then this, skip my mole there, is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil in 03, just for some shade comparisons here. So today I'm going to be using the shade 04, which to me, again, I don't have the shade descriptions because it hasn't launched yet, but it has more of a yellow undertone, which I prefer. 5 is definitely a little bit more pink tone, and then 3, again, it does have a nice yellow, but I think that one's a little bit too light for me. So what I'm going to do is just take about a normal foundation amount, probably just like what would equal to a full pump of a foundation that comes in a pump. I'm just going to go ahead and start on one side of my face. I'm just going to dot it and see how it blends out. So I'm going to use a brush for this side and then a sponge, and we'll see how that compares, see how we get the best finish. This is a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, by the way. Okay, so far it's definitely a really solid medium, if not medium to full coverage. I did put quite a lot of product on, so that could also be why it looks so full coverage. But I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to blend this. There is no scent, really no scent at all that I noticed on this foundation. By the way, I do already have my skin prepped and my SPF on. I did not put any primer on just so we could see how this foundation wears completely on its own. I'll put everything that I use to prep my skin in the description box below for you guys if you're curious. So first impressions is I think that's like a really nice shade match for me. Also, it just looks completely beautiful right now. I'm so happy with the finish and the coverage. They did say demi matte finish, which I definitely agree with. If you want a really nice glowy finish, this is not the foundation for you, but for me, I want something long wearing, a little bit more matte, especially for the summertime. So it's not super full coverage. I still have some redness on these blemishes showing through, but it covered so well, but it looks like skin. Like, I'm really impressed with this so far. I'm really curious to see if it's gonna crease in my smile lines, because like every foundation I own does that. That's the true test right there. So I did use quite a lot of product on that side of my face. So if you wanted lighter coverage, you could obviously use less product, but I'm gonna use the rest of what's on my hand here and then use a sponge and see how that works out. Alright, so the sponge did a really good job too. Of course, it gave me a little bit less coverage, but it didn't really take away a ton of the coverage. It kind of just made it look even more natural on the skin than this side looks. I mean, both look super natural, but this one just has a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in so you can see what it looks like just with one layer, and then we'll go ahead and try to build it up, see how it builds on itself, and see how full coverage we could get this. So this side of my face has the foundation applied with the brush, and then this side has the sponge. I think they both look really good. Again, this one has a little bit more coverage. For some reason, this one has a little bit more of a glow to it. I'm not sure if because with the sponge it sort of absorbed any oils, if there are any oils in this. I'm not sure because I don't have the ingredient list on hand right now, but so far we're looking really good. I'm enjoying it, definitely. Let me know what you guys think in the comments so far. Okay, so let's just go ahead and try to build this up. I'm just gonna take some more product and do another layer of this. I mean, it's already pretty full coverage. I'm just trying to see like how far can we take it, you know? And I'm just gonna use this sponge for this layer. Okay, so it did build up pretty well. I think if I did a brush, it probably would have been a little bit more coverage, but I'm really happy with how it's looking. This is one of these foundations, it does not feel like anything on my skin. It feels just like the True Skin Serum Foundation, where it really is weightless, which is so surprising because it's like a thicker formula and it comes in a tube. On your hand, it feels like it would be a thicker, heavier foundation, but like it doesn't feel like anything, which I'm loving. The coverage is amazing. It's honestly making my skin just look like soft focus, if that makes sense. It definitely has a demi matte coverage and it almost sets down on its own. I feel like I always powder my foundations, but this one I feel like I wouldn't even need to because it is that demi matte finish, and it does a great job at setting itself down. It's not one of those foundations that stays sticky or oily or anything like that. So far I'm really loving how this looks on my face. I can't wait to see how this ends up wearing. So I think with the 2 layers, it's definitely a medium fuller coverage. You could definitely build this up to full coverage if you wanted to. Still a little bit of redness on my chin, but other than that, like, my skin is just really evened out with this. With 2 layers, I think it looks beautiful. 1 layer for the everyday I think is perfectly fine because it does have a really solid medium coverage at first. So yeah, let me go ahead. I'm gonna do some concealer. We'll set it down, just my concealer. We won't set the foundation. And then we'll go ahead, finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I will check back in throughout the day to see how this ends up wearing. Okay, just to stay with the theme of this video, I'm gonna use the Clove and Hallow Conceal and Correct in the shade 02. Now, in the email, the foundation... So the foundation is supposed to be like their concealer, but in foundation form, and you guys know I love this concealer. I did also forget to mention, but this foundation is $26 and you get 31 grams. I don't know how many ounces is that. How many grams are in an ounce? Someone Google it right now. I'm guessing this is an ounce because that's standard foundation size. Wow, we are full coverage today. I am loving it. The concealer went really well with it. It didn't react weird or anything like that. So that's a good sign. Okay, so just to set my under eyes, I'm gonna use the Ilia True Skin. No, this is their Fade Into You Soft Focus Finishing Powder. I'm so used to saying Ilia True Skin. This is my favorite finishing powder. I know it works good. So I'm just gonna set my under eyes. I'm gonna try to not get this all over my face. I'm only gonna set my under eyes. I'm not gonna set my whole face just to see how this would wear, completely on its own, and just like I'm saying, it does set down, so it almost feels like it doesn't even need a powder. I am going to set the sides of my nose in my smile lines right there, just because that's where I get pretty oily, but I'm not going to set like the perimeter of my face. Okay, scratch that. I actually am going to set my whole face because I'm going to put powder products on top of this and I don't want it to move around, so I'm taking the smallest layer of powder just to set that base so that when we put on bronzer and blush and stuff like that, it's not going to move around. Literally the smallest amount here. Guys, can we appreciate this coverage right now? I definitely do. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Here's another close-up of how the foundation looks with concealer and powder. Like I keep saying, the coverage is incredible. I'm really loving how my skin looks right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be back. Okay guys, I'm back. Rest of my makeup is done. So far I really love the foundation. It is a demi matte finish. Like I said, it's $26. They have 12 shades. It's launching the 18th, which when this video will be posted. So far, I think it's a great foundation. If it wears well, it's really going to be one of my favorite foundations just because of the coverage and the finish and how extremely lightweight it feels. I'm really impressed with it so far. I hope it wears well. I will check in. It's currently 103 right now, if you could even see that. But yeah, I'll probably check in. I'll wear it as long as I can and check in throughout the day to see how it ends up wearing. Not really going to be doing a lot, probably just working on my computer, but powders and everything went over it really beautiful. Like I said, I did set it with a little bit of powder just so I could blend some bronzer on top of it. I will put everything in the description below that I used for the rest of my face. But anyway, that about wraps up my thoughts on this foundation. For now, we'll see how it wears and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so I just wanted to come over to a window and show you guys what the foundation looks like in natural light. It looks really gorgeous in natural light, just like in artificial light. It looks really smooth so far. I'm excited to see how it wears. So yeah, I will check in a little bit. Hey guys, so it's almost 8:30. I think it's around 8:20 right now, and I wanted to... Let's ignore that right now. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to check in, show you guys how the foundation held up. So I actually did go out today. We went and just really walked around, and it was pretty hot. It was like 70 something. And I sweat a lot through my face, so I did get pretty sweaty, and it's held up very well, saying that I sweat a lot. So it's been about probably 7 hours since I put this on. It is oily around my nose, which I get with most foundations. I did get a little bit of creasing on this side, just because I think I used a lot of product with the brush. The side with the sponge isn't as bad. But other than that, my forehead's a little oily, but it didn't break up too bad. Like around my nose, it wore off because I was touching my nose, but it didn't break up anywhere else. I usually get some breakup around my chin, and with this one, I'm not really noticing it at all. I think it held up so well, extremely well. I think this would be such a perfect foundation for summer if you have oily skin, or if you're really just more active and want something that's gonna hold onto your skin and wear a lot longer than most of like the glowy, dewy natural foundations. So yeah, I'm definitely going to continue to use this. I'm totally loving it. I think the shade is a really good match for me as well. Alright guys, that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it at any point. Let me know in the comments below what you would think of this foundation. I love to hear from you guys. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.